getting out of a toxic work environment, and are you even in a toxic work environment? I remember a couple of toxic environments I have worked in, unfortunately, and some of them were very clearly toxic, like extreme toxicity, but there was one that I was in, which was, or a few actually, that were not super toxic. Like they certainly didn't compare to that other example that I have, but they kind of felt toxic, but I wasn't sure. My colleagues could still be super nice, and it made me wonder, is my environment toxic or am I the problem? And it was instilling all this doubt in my mind. And maybe that's where you are as well, where you're feeling like there's something wrong at your job for sure, but you're wondering, are you the problem? Are they the problem? You're not, are you gonna end up in the exact same situation in your next position if you're the problem? And it might make you wonder if you should just stay and grin and bear it and just keep trying your best and pull yourself through because actually you're lucky to have this job, and you might be justifying to yourself, well, the job's actually not that bad. I probably won't find something better. And, colleagues are pretty nice and this and that and whatever. But I was thinking about this a lot, and I have a lot of clients who have been through various types of toxic work environments. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about the label, right? Is it toxic or is it not toxic? What is the definition of a toxic work environment? I mean, who cares? The point is it creating toxicity in your life? And it's not really about whose fault is it yours, is it theirs, etc. Maybe you don't have one of those extreme cases where you're clearly in a horrible place. Maybe your environment is actually full of nice people and the tasks you're given are fair tasks, but there's something inside you that is wrong. And actually that toxicity can be created just when there is a misalignment. So if there's a misalignment of core values, so the things that are really, really important for you, you're having to go against them by being in that job. That can be all kinds of things. Like if one of your core values is freedom and the ability to work from where you want, and you're being forced to go into the office, that can be a mismatch with your core values and make you have like kind of that inner rage, that inner toxicity, because you're being forced to do something that goes against your sense of freedom. It can be all kinds of different things. Maybe the things that you're working on are things that you're not passionate about, you don't care about. And meanwhile, there's something else going on in the world that you feel so much more passionate about, that you feel is so much more important, and yet you're stuck there putting your time and energy and focus into something that you feel is not bringing any benefit to humanity whatsoever. That is going to create a kind of toxicity as well. So it's not even about, is the situation technically toxic and who is diagnosing and creating this label. It's just about, do you feel that poisoning happening within you? Because once that happens, for whatever reason, and it's not about whose fault is it, but once that poisoning starts to happen, it doesn't get better. It only gets worse the longer you leave it. The longer you leave it, the poison grows and it starts to eat away at who you are. It starts to eat away at really all the things that are good about you. When it's the opposite of when you're glowing and you're light and you're passionate and you're sharing that passion. And of course that gives you energy to be more productive, etc. So it's the opposite of that. It starts to make you less productive. It starts eating at your confidence and makes you feel lower and lower, more and more drained. I've seen people over time eventually get depressed as well. And then sometimes they end up needing to be on drugs for their depression. I've seen, all this crazy downward spiral happening, but it goes over a very long period of time. And so you don't see it coming because you keep justifying to yourself, well, it's not that bad. Maybe I just need to be more positive, maybe this, maybe that. But then over time, that poison, which comes from the misalignment, eats away at you to the point that you're not actually able, or it's very, very difficult to then make a change, make a switch. So this whole time you think, well, let's see, I'll make the switch later, I'll think about it later, maybe I should change, but we'll see later, right? You're always pushing it to later. But then when later comes, number one, you don't know when later is coming because it's always later. So it just keeps getting pushed back forever. But number two is that even if you finally realize you do need to make this change, your confidence is so shot that you're no longer able to go for a new job. And you thought you could always just go and look later. But by that point, you're so low that you've lost the ability to sell yourself, you've lost your confidence, you've lost your mission, and then finding something different becomes really, really, really difficult. So just a reminder not to allow yourself to end up in that position, and a reminder to make sure that you really notice when something is out of alignment and take charge to fix that misalignment. It's so important to do it earlier rather than later. Don't be someone who falls behind in their career. This is how it happens. And then you get burned out, or you end up losing your job and you can't get back on your feet because you didn't take charge early on. Always catch it early on. In this new economy, you need to stay competitive. You need to be one of those people who's ahead of the game, who's really, keeping yourself in alignment, keeping yourself on focus, keeping yourself energized, who's almost leading the pack, as opposed to, oh, we'll see, it's not so bad, we'll see. That's how you get left behind really, really faster than you realized. So let me know below, have you noticed any times of toxicity, either where you are right now or even in a past job? I don't know if you can hear that. These are the toxicity sirens going off. We're saying, if you're in a toxic job, make sure you get yourself out of it, because you shouldn't wait until it becomes an emergency. If you notice the signs, the emergency starts now. Build that sense of urgency. Say, one life to live. It's too short to be in a job that's toxic or boring, that's not giving me what I want. Live your life to the fullest and start taking those action steps to get yourself back into alignment, because I promise you there's that perfect environment out there and that perfect position where you're going to be able to shine, and where you don't need to be in the space of, oh, is it toxic or isn't it toxic? And should I leave? Should I stay? No, that ideal place is out there. It's just waiting for you to take action and step into it.